Hey guys, we're back, and we're back with a new episode of News Radio, Radio News, whatever the hell I'm still calling this show. I'm your host, it's Ethan, and we've been on a bit of a break here at BDS because we decided we deserved a break after covering all of that post-E3 content. Yes, I'm still calling it E3 because that's what it is to me. Does it live up to the hype? No, it does not, but we had to cover State of Play, the Dookie Summer Games Fest, and Xbox Showcase. Now, I want to address the elephant in the room before we get started. We did promise 3 videos during that Summer Game Fest thing. We did deliver with the Summer Games Fest State of Play and Xbox. That's not what we're talking about, but on that day, when Summer Game Fest was finished, we were supposed to be doing 3 videos. Now, the 3 videos in question was the Summer Games Fest, which we made. Me and James were able to pump out the Street Fighter Season 3, Year 3 thoughts and opinions on the new characters that will be gracing Street Fighter 6 when they do launch next year, or the rest of this year and next year. And then the other video that didn't make it, and the one that I'm addressing here now, was my thoughts, my opinions, and my theories on Resident Evil 9. Now that video is done and ready to go, but this is going to be one of those cases where it is going to become lost media. Yes, it is lost media, and only simply because I have signed, your host, Ethan, aka Lost Soda Pop, has signed an NDA with Capcom, agreeing that I will not talk about Resident Evil 9 Requiem. And as much as that pains me and hurts me deep down in my soul, I'm very graceful, all of those words, towards Resident Evil 9 Requiem, Resident Evil as a franchise, and Capcom for giving me the opportunity to play this game. Now, I played the exact same demo that a majority of the people that are speaking about it on that got a chance to have hands-on play test demo at Gamescom the following day after it was announced. I've also been able to get my hands on a separate demo that is completely different from the demo that appears at Gamescom and the one that everybody got to play, which is the first-person Grace hallway and the interaction with the new creature. Now, due to my NDA, I unfortunately will no longer be able to release that Resident Evil video talking about my thoughts, theories, and potential ideas for it, simply because one of my ideas is actually technically, sort of, kind of, very, very much so, right on the nose. I have a habit of accidentally being completely correct, and this is one of those instances where I hate to say it, but I'm right, and it is part of my NDA, so they can't exactly say, oh, well, maybe you knew ahead of time, or you didn't know. I cannot speak on this matter until it is made public. So for the foreseeable future, until a certain something gets revealed, I and the folks here at BDS, we are unable to cover Resident Evil 9 Requiem. It is heartbreaking to me to have to do this, and I figured I would let everybody know ahead of time here. And we'll be getting right into the episode here of News Radio. But I figured I'd address the elephant in the room and let everybody and clarify as to why there is no Resident Evil 9 Requiem. I know a lot want to hear about it. I love speaking on behalf of Resident Evil, and I love the franchise. It hurts me to not be able to talk about it, but at the same time, I'm very, very honored to have got to play it. 2 different versions, one of which most people have never even played yet, and also to work alongside Capcom with further tests. So as part of my NDA, I'm going to cease talking about it, and we're going to move right into the episode, and we're going to start off with some good news despite the negativity. I think that's a good theme for this video. So let's move forward, and if you have more questions, be sure to leave questions in the video, and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. But anyways, let's move forward. Thank you guys so much. Anyways, the next topic of discussion here is the Nintendo Switch 2. Despite all the controversies, it has become the fastest selling games console of all time. The Nintendo Switch has reached a record-breaking 3.5 million units sold in just 4 days. Now, this is worldwide. It is doing really, really well. I'm happy for Nintendo. I'm still not getting a Nintendo Switch 2 until there are more games that tickle my fancy. I'm not entirely sold on the Nintendo Switch 2. I would probably have gotten pretty darn bored if the only game because the only game I want on there is Super Mario Kart World. Yeah, I know. It is there ain't much to go off of. I know in July, coming up soon here, there will be the Donkey Kong Bonanza. I do want to play that as well. So I got 2 games. My rule of thumb is always this. I want to at least have a good idea or a good rough estimate of anywhere between 8 to 10 games for a console, right? Xbox is my main gaming thing, so no matter what, I'll always buy an Xbox day one. But for, like, when it comes to adopting a new Nintendo console or a new Sony console, I wait, and then I gather my list, and usually I'm a generation behind when it comes to Sony, for sure. I'm always a generation behind. Nintendo, not so much, though. Nintendo, it's very much, okay, is there enough games for me? Okay, now, and then I'll get it. Now, the Nintendo Switch 2 is becoming the fastest selling console. I've gone to several different locations, Walmarts, Targets, GameStops. I have not been to a Best Buy. And it's pretty much sold out. The Nintendo Switch 2 area is pretty much like deserted in terms of like the consoles and in terms of the video games for it. The Switch area is a little bit more packed with a couple games here and there, but the Nintendo Switch 2 games themselves, believe it or not, even the ports of different games that are already on the Switch via, Legend of Zelda Breath of Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, Splitgate, and a few other titles that come to mind, like Hogwarts Legacy, Street Fighter 6, and so on. Even they're sold out, believe it or not. There's not a lot of games. I think I saw like maybe 2 copies of a couple games here and there, but at each location seems to be the same. I saw 1 copy of the Super Mario Kart World. Love the case. Love the artwork. I love the red on the top there. That's it's a part of a collecting. I like looking at, what does it look like, right? Next will be like, what does it feel like to have it? And it very much looks like a Nintendo Switch case, but with, more red accents on the top there. But I will say one thing is that this is the beginning portion of everybody buying stuff and buying all these games that they don't really need, but because it's a new console, they want to have games to play on the console and to test their units. And, I don't blame them for that. Me, personally, though, as I said before, I wait until there's games that I want, and then I get an abundance of games that I actually want to play. So far, I've got 2, and that's Super Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza when that drops. I do not have a copy myself of these games. It's just on my, list of games that I would like to play for the Nintendo Switch 2. But despite all the controversies, it is doing well. FOMO's kicking in, people buying games. But I will say this, each area I went to, not a single, it was full of cameras. The Nintendo Switch 2 camera, the Vision camera, if you will. I even saw at Target the Piranha Plant camera was there. And I was actually half tempted. I was tempted. I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll, no. But I decided against it. I was like, there's no point. I'm just going to sit on it. And then when I do get it, I don't plan to use my Nintendo Switch for like online capabilities, or using their goofy ass Discord system, or, I'll just have this stupid plant piranha thing that just sits on my desk for ages. So I decided against that. But yeah, despite all the controversies, despite all the Nintendo being a tad bit greedy and some of their ways being a little bit shitty, the Nintendo Switch 2 is still doing pretty well. Now, let's see if it can maintain that momentum. Remember, the Nintendo Switch is the #1 selling console of all time now, so it's going to take a lot for the Nintendo Switch 2 to reach those numbers. I hope that they do well. Despite all the controversies, I hope that it continues to do well and that it is all up from here for Nintendo. I don't agree with some of their practices. I don't agree with the price for one, not the price of the unit. I'm okay with that. I'm talking about the price of video games. They kind of started a nasty trend, but it's unfortunate and it is inevitable. I also don't care for the games that will not be on the cartridge themselves. There's just going to be a little key card that like pretty much vetoes you to the the storefront. I almost said Windows storefront, but the Nintendo Switch storefront. I don't agree with that. I'm not into that, so we'll move forward. Hey, let's talk about something that's going to make a good... Look at this. Nintendo... speaking of new stuff, look at this. I almost said Nintendo. My God, my brain. Look at here. Ubisoft just released a new version of Rainbow Six Siege. It's called, get this, for its 10-year anniversary, Rainbow Six Siege X. Everybody ready? Applaud. Oh my God. Was that crickets? Who let a cricket in here? Can somebody turn down? We're supposed to be celebrating... You don't want to celebrate Siege? Oh, you don't care? Oh, the world doesn't care? Neither do I. Get fucked. Siege has got upgraded. It looks better, I guess? I don't know. This seemed fucking stupid. Why is this everywhere? I wanted to make fun of Siege. That's what I wanted to do. Fuck Siege. Retarded. Moving on. Speaking of new... It looks like the new players for Gears of War Reloaded Beta are having a hard time keeping up with the veterans of Gears of War who are dominating the field. And by veterans, we mean it seems that there's an overwhelming amount of PlayStation players who are complaining and crying about not being able to keep up, finding the Gears of War multiplayer to be a tad bit frustrating as they are having hard times not only connecting in games and searching for games, but also being able to keep up with the competition. Not understanding how to run. In some videos, they don't even understand how to run in this game. I don't understand how people cannot pick up something, play, and hold a couple buttons, figure out some shit, and get the gist of what they're doing. I don't get that. But yeah, there's an overwhelming amount of PlayStation players that are basically complaining and bitching and crying about Gears of War Reloaded Beta. Either they can't find lobbies or they are struggling to keep up with the competition, not really understanding the lingo. Well, meanwhile, we have Gears vets over here who have 2 decades now, when this game comes out, will have 2 decades worth of experience using Nashers, Lancers, and shooting from cover, and firing from the hip, and wall bouncing, and throwing grenades, and grenade tagging, and being able to quickly jump and throw shit, and fucking around, and hip firing with the long shot, and getting those sweet motherfucking headshots. Meanwhile, Baby Station over here is complaining about, I can't connect because my console's so shitty. Anyways, it was exactly what I was expecting from Gears of War. The Xbox and PC crowd who still love Gears of War and are still, dedicated Gears fans and vets, they're absolutely stomping the competition and making the PlayStation players that aren't previous Xbox owners feel like absolute dog shit. And, well, that's good. I like making sure that the PlayStation community feels at home. Remember, they're dog shit. They always will be. Now this is more of a personal bias, recency bias, but I have played a handful of video games that have an online ecosystem that has crossplay enabled, and you can check the symbols for most of these games where it will show crossplay, so you know who is a crossplay. But as of late, a lot of consoles and a lot of games online have included this little tower symbol to show that not only are they cross-playing, but you're cross-playing with somebody on PC. Now, most of these games aren't exactly on Nintendo Switch, so if you see the cross-play icon and not the tower symbol, you can make an educated guess as to that player potentially being on the PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5. Now, with all that said, I will say that every time I've ever had run-ins with people that might potentially be on a PlayStation, no matter what the game may be it a third-person, first-person, strategy, fighting game, or anything under the sun that has an online cross-play element to it, I have never not found that the PlayStation player base has been absolutely dreadful at video games. Either they do the dumbest shit possible, and you're the reason why your team is not doing entirely too strong, or they're just dropping constantly and they have a terrible kill-death ratio. Whatever the case may be, they're horrible at games. I've never not found them to be very bad at video games. That might be some sort of thing. I don't know what their deal is, but just know I've always thought that PlayStation players that play games online have not been all that strong. Let me know if I'm just seeing things. Am I just being a crazy person? Is somebody gonna say, "Wow, the console wars in the great 2025"? Yeah, moron takes like that. Hey, let's talk about some more moronic shit here. Let's talk about Mind's Eye. That game that just kind of dropped out of nowhere but was said and hyped up to Grand Theft Auto Killer? Well, we've heard that sentiment before, and guess what? It is false. Well, the company behind it, not IO Interactive. IO Interactive published this game, and I feel bad for IO Interactive. I'm going to be honest. This is their first time publishing something since they've become independent, and they've done really, really well with Hitman 3 and the content keeping up with Hitman 3, and they're coming down the pipeline here. They've teamed up with Amazon, and they've got the 007 license, and they're doing well with that regard. It looks like a great game. Now, they had enough money, and it looks like they've decided they were going to partner up with a unknown developer called Build a Rocket Boy, and their first game published is a fucking dud. Yeah, that's right. Build a Rocket Boy actually saw their creative director and the CEO of the company both step down, one of which did so 2 days prior to the game launching. I don't know about you, but that is not a great look. Well, the writing was on the wall for this game. It seemed a bit fishy. It was being dropped out of nowhere. It didn't have all eyes on it. The talks about it the year prior was that it was going to be a Grand Theft Auto Killer, that there were creatives on the team that had previously worked on Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2. This game didn't really show too much gameplay, just, cinematic stuff spliced together, and then faux gameplay to, kind of get the point across. And then suddenly, a year later, it's done, it's ready, and it's coming out a couple of weeks after, or a week or 5 days after the events of the post E3 or game showcase, whatever the hell we want to call that. And surprise, surprise, the Grand Theft Auto Killer game did not live up to expectations. In fact, it was a bit of a shit show. The game has every problem you can think of under the sun, from no loading textures to character dialogue showing up when it's not supposed to, for character dialogue not showing up at all, from characters falling through the floor, for characters not interacting with what they need, from the shooting feeling stiff to the shooting not working at all, from the cover-based system lagging out the game, from constant crashes to frame dips to screen tearings. You name it, Mind's Eye got it. Yeah, and to top it all off, when the game is actually working, it's got pitiful writing, absolutely dreadful story that goes nowhere, and oh, get this, ends on a cliffhanger, and yeah, it's been a bit of a shit show. And to add to this kind of a shitty thing, now Xbox and Steam will give you refunds here and there, but Sony and PlayStation, being how they are, all greedy and shitty, they don't tend to give you refunds. They make the process very, very difficult. Well, only in the history has it ever been open to generalized refunds without having to go through the rigmarole of getting your refund. If you have the game, no matter how long you played it, if you didn't enjoy it, you are up for a refund. PlayStation's only done this 2 times, and now this being the 3rd time. They've done it once with Cyberpunk 2077, when that had an overwhelming amount of negativity surrounding it, and of course Concord. Now it looks like Mind's Eye is the 3rd time that PlayStation has had to open the floodgates and allow gamers displeased with this material to come waltzing in and basically say this game was terrible. I feel bad for the staff that worked on it, because overall, at first glance, it doesn't look like the worst thing ever, but it looks like it's trying to be the jack of all trades and the master of none. It doesn't know what it wants to be, whether it's a Grand Theft Auto game, whether it's a cover-based shooter, whether it's a techno game, whether it's a third-person realistic game, whether it wants to have elements of crafting, whether it wants to have elements of RPG. It's all over the place. This game doesn't know what it wants to be, and it shows in the final product, because it is not very good. Add to this that it's supposed to be some sort of big open world game, but it doesn't have too much side post content, and on average, gamers are able to run through and beat the game if they can get through without the game crashing and all the other problems that I listed prior. They're able to get through this game in under 12 hours. No offense, but a big giant game that's supposed to be a GTA killer, yeah, that shouldn't be able to be beaten in 12 hours. That's ridiculous. Anyways, Build a Rocket Boy, the developer behind Mind's Eye, has not made any comments as to what the hell is going to be done, if they're going to address the problems, if they're going to fix any of the issues that are plaguing the game. This is pretty much Cyberpunk written all over. The only difference is that Cyberpunk had a lot, and I mean a lot, of promotional material and hype building up the game to get players to get into the game, and the writing was on the wall with that one when they kept pushing and delaying it. The problem with this one was simply they were telling you it was going to be all of this while showing you absolutely nothing, and then suddenly, bam, here it is. That's a problem. Anyways, Mind's Eye is a complete shit show. Not really too surprised there. It wasn't on my radar. I haven't played it, and I don't plan on playing it because I don't give a shit, really. I've heard the time and time again the phrase GTA killer. I've heard time and time again the word Halo killer. I've heard time and time again the phrase Doom, Call of Duty, you name it. Big franchises where they say they're going to be the killer. And the only thing close enough to becoming a killer was when Silent Hill tried to rival the likes of Resident Evil by doing its own thing and dipping its toe into psychological horror, which leads me to my next talking point here, which is a great segue and our last story for this here video of News Radio, and that is the fact that Konami has officially announced that it is in development now a remake of Silent Hill 1. That is correct, a remake. Not only that, but Blooper Team, the creators of several other horror titles, and of course the Silent Hill 2 remake, will be back helming the project. They've done a great job with most of their games that they've been posting as of late. I've enjoyed a lot of their games. I still haven't gotten to play Silent Hill 2 remake because I do not have a PlayStation 5. It will be out for everything else though on October 8th. Apparently, because that's when the timed exclusivity runs up. It might be there right away. It might take a month or two. Who knows? But nevertheless, it will be out for other consoles, and that's great. My thoughts on Silent Hill 1. Now, a lot of people are a little confused here. I got an update on the Xbox. Sorry about that, folks. Now, my thoughts on this are as simple. Now, a lot of people are a little confused. Why do Silent Hill 2, then go back to Silent Hill 1? Well, you have to understand this. Silent Hill doesn't have any one set story. You don't have to follow. You can jump into every last one of these things. But you can't exactly go ahead and do Silent Hill 3 without having first tackled Silent Hill 1. Now, I know that basically is a, what do you call it? It kind of conflicts with what I just said just now. But the only game that actually is a sequel to a game where you need to have played it prior is Silent Hill 1. Silent Hill 1, and then Silent Hill 3. Everything else after that is just, its own thing with a little bit of, sprinkling of a couple of, things from the older games. Like Silent Hill 4, the room has, ties to Silent Hill 2 with the fact that one of the people living in the building, in the apartment building that Henry lives in, happens to be James's dad or something like that. James from Silent Hill 2, and that he collected some person's fucking umbilical cord or something fucked up like that. I know it's weird. It's Silent Hill. Anyways, but Blooper Team is working right now with Konami on a Silent Hill remake of the very first game. Now, I think it goes without saying that they did a great job. They got a lot of acolytes, and I think they can nail it perfectly. The only thing that I'm a little confused about is that if you actually play Silent Hill 1, it is very much go from point A to point B and get through it quickly. The exploration of the town is more of a nuisance in Silent Hill 1 than any other Silent Hill game. Most of the flow and fluidity of getting to where you need to go in Silent Hill 2, 3, and onwards feels like the town is more living and has more structure and meaning to it. I feel that having played Silent Hill 1 not too long ago on the PlayStation 3 via the backwards compatible digital version of Silent Hill 1, Yeah, there's a lot of getting through Silent Hill 1 that just feels very awkward. It's very it hasn't aged well. Let's just say it hasn't aged well. Control wise, it's not too horrible. I enjoy it. I still enjoy it for its story, and I still enjoy it for what it is. It's really creepy. The atmosphere is great, but I think where it needs some cleanup and a little bit more fleshing out is just being able to navigate the town a bit and not having it feel like a fucking maze like Silent Hill 1 did. Well, the original at least. So that's where I hope that Blooper can fix up and make it feel a little bit more spruced up with life. I have confidence that they'll do a great job, and I look forward to seeing what they do and if they're going to stick to the exact same script or if they're going to go a little bit off the beaten path. I would prefer them to just do what Silent Hill 2 did and just stick to the fucking script. It would be great. This will be the third time, though, that Silent Hill 1, or sorry, the second time, my bad. This is the second time that Silent Hill 1 has technically been remade. For Silent Hill Shattered Memories on the PlayStation 2, Wii, and PSP is technically a retelling of Silent Hill 1, which was a little different. It's a retelling in a whole different manner. And I'm going to be honest right now, it's very underrated. It's a pretty good game. Expensive as all shit, though. And that brings us into the next conversation and topic, is where now that they are remaking this, it makes it more accessible for everybody. Because if you have a look at how expensive it is to acquire a physical copy of Silent Hill 1 on the PlayStation 1, you will be appalled at how expensive this game is. For the Black Label runs between $300 to $350. Yes, you can get the greatest hits version for cheaper, but the disc alone for the Black Label is hovering at $100 to $150. That's ridiculous. It's very expensive, and also keep in mind that's for a PlayStation 1 game. So unless you have a PlayStation 1 or a PS2 with an actual laser disc that doesn't fucking suck and eat shit, you don't really have access to play this game. It's not readily available, and that's a problem with a lot of Silent Hill games. Yes, there are emulations, but I don't condone emulation. All that being said, Silent Hill 1 is in the works. I'm excited. I'm eating good as a horror enthusiast. I got Resident Evil. I got Silent Hill 2. I got freaking, indie titles being worked on, like, for instance, all those Blumhouse horror games that are starting to come up. And apparently Tormented 2 will be out sometime this October. I'm eating good. I got Silent Hill F. It's on the way. Silent Hill 2 remake is going to be out and about. Now we got Silent Hill, and that also, like, I think it's not without of the question, but if they're doing Silent Hill 1, then that means that Silent Hill 3 is inevitable. However long it's going to take them to finish Silent Hill 1, I would rather them take their time and produce something great. And then work on Silent Hill 3, because it's inevitable. And then who knows, maybe, just to give us that nice little kiss on the bum, give me Silent Hill 4 The Room as well. Because that's not readily available. Honestly, most of these games aren't readily available. And while you're at it, do an HD collection or port of Silent Hill 1, 2, and 3, or The Room, and, sprinkling Origins or Shattered Memories if you have to. Konami, do what you're doing with the Metal Gear series. People love Silent Hill, and to make these games more accessible is only a win-win for everyone involved. But I feel like I've ran over my time. I said in my notes here, 10 to 15 minutes. Motherfucker, I've dragged this shit out to 30 minutes. It's amazing what we can get out of News Radio with just a couple of talking points. But thank you guys so much for listening. I know I'm not easy to listen to. Sometimes it's irritating. Sometimes you skip forward. I see the analytics. But thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed our coverage of the E3 Summer Showcase and all that. I do apologize for anybody that was looking forward to the Resident Evil 9 Requiem breakdown. I can't do it, I want to. I'm heartbroken too. But let me know what you think about the topics for this News Radio. Are you excited for Silent Hill Remake? Do you care about Rainbow Six Siege? Triple X Porno Edition, where the fuck? Are you getting a Nintendo Switch 2? Are you on PlayStation crying about Gears of War? Let me know. We do love looking at the comments, and I respond to them as best as I can. But thank you guys so much again. I keep saying thank you, but thanks a bunch. You know the drill. Like and subscribe if you haven't already done so, and share with a friend. And we will see you guys on the next episode. Peace.